What's up, YouTube? We are going live. Well, we are live, but we're just waiting for our notifications to get out, and we are going to be teaching you how to get started on doing a press to handstand, that elusive calisthenics skill that everybody wants to master. Hang around. Don't So you want to know how to do a press to handstand? Well, in this video, I am going to teach you everything that you need to know about compression strength, which is a critical part of a press to handstand. Make sure you stick around to the end, because I'm telling you right now, if you want to learn how to do a press to handstand, I'm 41, I couldn't do a press to handstand when I was 37. I learned this as an adult. This stuff works, and we are going to teach you the secret sauce. All that and more coming up right after this.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.
Hey everyone, in case we haven't met, my name is Rad Burmeister. I am the co-founder of Unity Gym and co-creator of the UMS, Unify Movement System, where we take driven people and turn them into superhumans. And the way we get such astonishing results with our members is that we've created a very unique program that has a balance between strength and flexibility. If you want to know how we do that, you can get started by downloading the free flexibility blueprint. There's a link in the description of this video. As always, I am joined by Phil White, and Phil is going to be thrown under the bus today. I'm taking him through some compression strength.
My least favorite thing. No, not at all. But here we go.
Compression strength is literally one of the most painful and uncomfortable journeys you will ever undertake with your training.
Yeah, it's definitely something that is part of the program here. But as I've talked about before with my own training, I really try and make my training quite goals focused. So I'm doing a lot of volleyball skills in my rest periods of workouts and subbing out exercises that aren't quite as useful for my triathlons and beach volleyball. And compression strength is definitely one where I've seen it and been like, I'll happily just put that one aside and not engage with it because it is painful and horrible.
Yeah.
But,
Since I started learning calisthenics and pursuing calisthenics as part of the Unified Movement System, I can honestly say that a press to handstand is probably one of my proudest achievements.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's one of those things that when I looked at people doing it, I was like, man, I want to be able to do that. And when I finally did one, I was so proud of it, and it took so much work. I had to work my butt off for it. I did not have the flexibility that was required. I didn't have the compression strength that was required. I couldn't do a good handstand, and it wasn't something that came easy for me. But with the secrets and the tips and tricks that we're going to share with you today and for the next few days, if you follow this and you're diligent and you don't care about how long it takes you to get there, and you don't have anything that's preventing you from getting there that would hold you back, like injuries or issues in your body, then this is going to work for you and you'll get a press to handstand.
Yep.
So what I want to talk about first is the key insight for today's show, which is that compression strength is absolutely critical for a press to handstand. Without it, you are going to be just muscling your way up, and I've rarely seen people be able to do it without good compression strength. And it's the way that what needs to be done to get compression strength, to develop it. A lot of people don't understand it. You have to develop good flexibility in the hamstrings and adductors, much more the hamstrings and the posterior chain, the lower back, but then you need to develop strength in the abs and hip flexors. And end range strength is what we're talking about, and then you have to learn how to transfer that into a press to handstand. And a lot of people understand the concept, but they don't understand how to actually do it and how to put it together.
Yeah, and so just with that end range there, when we're going into compression, it's usually going to be when we're talking about end range, there's outer range and inner range. So this is going to be more of that inner range strength, which is often the crampiest of the types of strength. So
this is what we're about to do today is cramp city if you haven't done it before. So get ready for some serious pain and discomfort.
Yeah, I'm going to have some really good facial expression. So every time I, really looking as ugly as it gets, hit that like button.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and if you're watching, hit the like button, please, and leave a comment with your name and where you're watching from.
My face with an emoji in the comment section.
Yeah. I can see we've already got some good engagement here. I'm going to get to all of your questions once we get back in after we've been out on the gym floor. So please, any questions that you have, put them in the comment section and I'll answer them for you as soon as we get back. Let's get out on the gym floor, get started, show you guys how to develop this compression strength. And I'm going to get up and demonstrate a press to handstand after we've done this stuff. We'll see if I can do it. So the first thing we're going to do is a Jefferson curl. So Phil, can you go and grab yourself a kettlebell that you're comfortable using? So the first thing that we do, so what I'm going to show you is how to do a workout for compression strength. So this is from start to finish. You've just warmed yourself up and now you want to do a compression strength workout. When's the best time to do this? I like to do this at the end of my workout because you don't want to be interfering with your primary strength developing movements, and they should be things like squats, deadlifts, bench press, or pull-ups, shoulder press, or calisthenics versions of the same movements. So you don't want to interfere with that, and doing this kind of thing will fatigue you, so you want to have maximum strength for your primary movements, so I like to do it at the end of my workout. So Phil, let's get up and we'll do a couple of Jefferson curls. Yeah, just up here. So you can go here and then I'll jump up next to you and do a couple. So
check out the smoke through the window as we do it.
Yeah, man, it is full on. Our country is on fire and Sydney is just absolutely wrecked. It's like being out right next to a bonfire when you walk outside. It just smells like a bushfire in the middle of the city. All right, so let's go, Phil. Do your best Jefferson curl. So what's going on here is tucking his head in, then he curls from the upper back and then all the way down, trying to keep the knees straight. He's going to go as low as he comfortably can, and then he's going to come up in the reverse manner. So he's going to come from the bottom all the way up to the top, and then the last thing that comes up is going to be his head. I'll do a couple here as well because I need to warm myself up if I'm going to be doing a press to handstand. So we're going to tuck the chin in, curl down through the spine, go as low as you can, and just allow the body to fold over, and then come slowly back up. And I like to do 5 reps in one set, and then on the last rep,
we're going to hold. I'll just do one more. And you do it a little bit slower than what I'm doing it, but just for the purposes of the show, I'm going to go a little bit quicker. And on the last rep, just hold. Take a few breaths. Make sure your knees are straight. Allow the weight to pull you down. Keep your quads tight, not fully tense, but tight, so you keep the knees straight. And with each breath, try and draw the stomach in a bit more and draw your head in towards your knees. And then when you're done, come back up. You can hear I'm talking a bit weirdly there because my body's all folded up. Okay, so that's our first exercise. 3 sets of the Jefferson curl.
Is it worth just pausing and mentioning there? Because that might be, some people may not have seen that exercise before, and I know on our Instagram page we've had a lot of chat on this particular exercise. So certainly if you haven't done it before, then just start out really light, start out really slow, even just going body weight first, then just a kilo, and then a few more kilos. So Brad's been doing it for a long time, so that 24 kilos is appropriate for him. If you haven't done this before,
probably 4 or 6 kilos, like something really light.
Out,
yeah,
it's really gentle and, and build your way up.
Yeah.
Too big a thing to go into right now, but
people, we always get this, oh, that would be so bad for somebody with lumbar disc problems or anything like that. And I kind of go, well, yeah, of course there's things that are going to be bad. That's like saying, that pulling your shoulders up here would be really, really bad for somebody that had a dislocated shoulder. Well, yeah, of course it would. This is not training for somebody that's got an injury that's trying to rehabilitate an injury. This is training for somebody that wants to learn a calisthenics movement. And if you've dealt with issues that you've got going on in your spine, then in our experience, this is a really, really good movement.
So again, we're just going, just a bit of a disclaimer, working through, if you haven't got any injuries, this is what we're doing here. So
yeah, that's right. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to get ready for a pancake, because the pancake is a really critical part of compression strength. And a really good way to prepare yourself for a pancake is a few reps of Cossack squats. So you're just going to go double shoulder width apart. And there's a couple of different ways to do Cossack squats. The easiest way is you just let your foot turn out like this when you come down, and then you come back up. Okay? So we're just going to go through while I'm talking. The more challenging way to do a Cossack squat is going to be to keep both feet flat on the ground, like this. Okay? It's a little bit harder, and then you can also even go side to side. You can do, basically we're just really warming up our adductors for the pancake. But if you're somebody that can't get down, like Phil's got a decent Cossack squat, if you can get down to at least that height, then you're going to be okay. Obviously I've been doing these for a little bit longer, so I can get down a bit lower. You can also rotate for the front leg like this, so you can try and reach for that front foot. Okay? This is really going to help with your pancake. Now, Phil, choose a weight for yourself for the pancake, and maybe you can do it with your bum elevated, so you can show how a beginner would go about doing a pancake. So now you could do a couple of sets of those Cossack squats, or you could just do one set as a warm-up like what we did just there. But you're really getting yourself ready for the pancake. Everything we've done so far is to prepare ourselves for this moment, for this pancake. So Phil, we're going to put the weight up on our shoulders, okay? I haven't done a pancake in so long, actually. I've been working on a lot of other stuff, so let's see how I go. And now from here, it's not about doing the splits, so I can do the splits. I'm not trying to do that here. So we're just going to get out to a width like this, start with the toes pulled back, go down as far as you can comfortably go, and then back up. So you can see Phil's elevated his bum a little bit. If you're less flexible than Phil, you'll need to elevate your bum even more than that. And we're going to do about 10 reps. And every second or third rep, we're now going to point the toes. Okay, and that flosses the nerves through the muscles. Nerves aren't flexible, so you're getting cramps already. Yeah. And then we're going to pull the toes back. So we just change every couple of reps, all the way up and down. Okay, and once we've done about 8 to 10 reps, we're going to hold it, point the toes, tense the quads, tense the glutes, trying to pull the legs out, trying to pull the chest down towards the ground. Okay. Really drawing the stomach in. Okay. And then when you finish, you can even just sort of just come forward, relax into the stretch a bit, let it stretch you out. And that's our pancake. So we're going to do 3 sets of that. Now we're stretched, we've increased our range of motion, and now this is where the fun begins. So we've warmed ourselves up we've increased our range of motion. Now it's time to increase our active range of motion to work on end range strength. So what we're going to do, we're going to come down on the floor, Phil. And the first one that we're going to do, there's a couple of different ways that you can go about compression strength, and I'm going to show you, I'll show you two ways, because one of them you might have seen us do before on these videos. For a lot of you won't have, but I want to show that one anyway, because even if you've seen it before, this is a really important part of my development with the press to handstand, so I can't discount that. I can't say, oh, I'm going to show you something different to what I did, but then I'm going to show you something that I probably haven't shown you guys that are followers on our channel before. So this one here, we're going to, as a beginner, you can put your fingers on the ground like this. If you're more advanced, you can get your hands on the ground, because the idea is the further forward you can lean, the more challenging it's going to be. And we're going to do 10 circles outward, then we're going to do 10 circles inward, then we're going to do 10 pulses up and down, then we're going to bring the legs together and do 30 pulses up and down.
We're going to do breaks between these?
Yeah, we're going to have less than a 10-second break between each one, and we can shake our legs. And then at the end of that, we're going to open up in a pancake, and we're going to do a few reps of going down, where we're basically going to go as far as we can go with a couple of reps. And then when we feel like we get to the end of our range, we're going to tense and squeeze and hold as far forward as we can. Then we're going to come back up, relax, and then we're going to go again and try and do that a few times to increase the active range of our pancake. So you watch, this is an absolute mofo of an exercise. The pain that you're about to see in our faces is real. Okay, ready to go? We'll do 10 reps, I'll count. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake the legs. Okay, get ready, get ready. Here we go now, circles inward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake the legs. Now 10 up and down. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shake the legs. Okay, now we're in the middle here. Let's go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. Open up. Come down as far as you can go. Okay, when you can't go any further, point the toes, tense the quads, tense the glutes, compress down forward. Okay, relax. And again, compress, compress, compress. And there we go. And for some reason, our bloody air conditioning stopped working in this gym, and for the first time now I can feel how freaking hot it is. I think it's got something to do with the bushfires. I think it's triggering the fuse in the air conditioner. How's that, Phil?
Yeah, it's good.
So that routine there, 3 sets, 2 times a week is probably enough for you. Now the last thing that we're going to do, now that we've done all of this stuff, we're going to slowly teach the nervous system how to transfer that into our press to handstand. And the way we're going to do that is by standing up, and I'm going to reach forward and try and get my hands just in front of my feet, and I'm going to stand up on my toes and try and transfer the weight to my hands, and at the same time as I suck my legs into my chest. Have a try that. Feet together. Get your hands as close to your feet as you can, and then try and stand up on your toes, straighten your knees, and try and bring the weight into your hands and lift your legs off the ground. Yeah. Say that again.
What?
You know, it's so funny. I remember exactly that. I remember when I was learning a press to handstand and I put my hands down, I was just like, how the hell do you do this? How can you get it?
No pathway there that makes sense to me.
And that was only a few years ago for me. Now, I've recovered from a slap tear this year. I haven't trained press to handstands in 9 months, maybe longer. Haven't trained handstands in just as long. Let's see if I can do a press to handstand. We'll give it a try. Still got it. It's oh man, it's a beast of a move, isn't it? All right, let's come into the office. So, yeah, look, guys, you have to excuse us for being sweaty like this. That is an absolute prick of a workout. Trust me on that one. And
Yeah, I'm changing out of the grey shirt for that one.
it's so hot in here and so
Smoky.
so smoky. Yeah, our air conditioner's not working at all. So. Yeah, it's funny. We've got a delay here, so I'm seeing myself do the press to handstand just now.
Whoa. Well, that was a thoroughly unpleasant experience.
Yeah.
And that was what, I guess, so you do that 3 times, and that was...
Three sets of that
sets,
at the end, yeah. And you've really got to go for it.
Yeah.
You have to really tense your quads. You've got to lean forward as much as you can. Try to avoid yourself from falling back.
Yeah, I think the cruelest part of that was when I got the legs straight in front. You got to 10, and I was like, oh, that's not so bad. And then I realized it was 30.
Yeah.
That was a really sad time for me.
Man,
you
know
could see
what?
my heart break in that video just as you went to 11. Oh, no.
If you guys do that and you get cramps in your legs,
I got cramps everywhere. I got cramps in like nearly my diaphragm. It was like up in here. There was cramps in the front of my legs. There was cramps in the bottom of my quads.
Isn't it just a bitch?
Like,
Yeah.
oh, man.
It's a horrible thing. Thing. So let's have a look at some of the engagement that we've got here, some of the questions. If you've just tuned in, please hit that like button and let us know your name and where you're watching from. And any questions that you have, put them in the comment section. We're going to get to them now. So Quack has tuned in. Morning, lads. Morning, Quack. Thanks for tuning in, brother. Michael P is saying compression strength is honestly the hardest part of all strength work I do. It is, man. It's just horrendous. Ferrographics tuned in. Thank you very much. Michael P's been saying, I've been working on the pancake for nearly a year and my chest is about 30 degrees off the floor. How much is hamstring and adductor flexibility versus compression strength? It's both, man. It really is. What I've found is the more and more I learn about flexibility and mobility, the more I'm learning that the strength in the opposing muscle in its shortened range is as important as the flexibility in the muscle in its lengthened range, because they both send a message to the nervous system that tells you that you can or can't go there. So yeah, they're both really important. Cohen Parker is saying, hey everyone, hey Cohen, thanks for tuning in. Quack saying, yes, after I do pancake stretch routine, I have so much more control when I do straight arm press to handstand. Thank you, Rad, for your guidance on the pancake. Helped so much with press to handstand. That's awesome, man. I know you've been doing our press to handstand training that we've been putting up on YouTube for a while, so it's really cool to see that you're getting great results with it. Michael P is saying, also, is there a way to increase range of motion in anterior pelvic tilt for the pancake? Well, yeah, man, it's the whole thing, you know, like there's no one thing, you know. There's hitting it from different angles and trying different things. But what I just taught you there is a really good understanding of what a workout should look like to get to this. But there's so many different ways you can do Jefferson curl. Like I don't only do Jefferson curl, I'll do loaded hamstring stretches where my back goes into extension and I'm just focusing on the hamstring component, not the spine component, because the Jefferson curl brings the spine into it as well. There's different ways you can go about doing pancake training. There's so many different things you can do like that. But the idea of stretching the hamstrings, the posterior chain and the adductors first, and then strengthening the hip flexors and the abs second in their shortened range, that's the basic concept of developing a good pancake.
Yeah, so just 2 things on that. So with the, you're just so much more likely to get cramps in that position because with that inner range, as we talked about there, basically you've got the crossover, lots and lots of your muscle fibers like that, and when there's so many little, like there's all these little attachments between there, and when they're all firing and holding on, that's when you're getting those cramps. So it's just about exposure to that position, and the more time you do it, the easier we'll get. It's not about like a magnesium, supplement imbalance or something, like an electrolyte thing. It's just a matter of that position and what you're exposed to about that. So that's my understanding of it. And also, when you are contracting an opposing muscle group, that will send like a neurological inhibitory signal to the other side. So it's really important to get that strong contraction through the anterior muscles, because that will send like an inhibitory signal to your posterior muscles to allow you to get into that range. So that neural drive is really important.
Yeah, for sure. So Quoc Nguyen is saying, yes, Rad, and he's given me a whole bunch of fire there. I'm guessing that's when I did my press to handstand.
That's a bit too soon, man, with all the bushfires. Come on, be a bit sensitive.
Quoc's also saying, let's see the big man Richie press to handstand.
Yeah, should we go outside?
So yeah, Richie, I think you're up, buddy. And Michael P is saying, very nice press to handstand. Thank you. Guys, I have to say, I'm going to say this again. Honestly, the press to handstand is one of my greatest achievements. I'm so proud of myself for being able to do it, because I promise you, when I started this journey, I reckon I was further away from it than you are out there. I honestly believe that. When I tried to do that compression strength, I just cramped immediately, and my pancake was so bad. And I remember putting my hands down on the ground and trying to get up, and I had that same look on my face as you did. I was like, how the hell do you do this? Like, how does this even happen? I just could not put it together. And just with
so just to run, like, so I'm a bit like, just to be quite clear about it. So when you're doing that compression strength, what that's allowing is you to basically transfer your weight onto your hands and take the weight off your feet,
exactly
and then
right.
the extension part of it comes in, because this is all flexion based.
That's right, because all you're doing at the moment, all we're trying to do with compression strength is develop the ability for you to transfer 100% of your weight from your toes to your hands.
Yeah.
Because you, and the way that you have to do that, there's two things that have to happen. Number one, you have to be flexible enough so that you can get your arms right down there, and then when you stand up on your toes, obviously your hips move over your hands.
Yeah.
But number two is, you have to be strong enough that as you do that, you're pulling your legs in to keep your center of gravity tight, and then you go from that into a straddle where your legs open up. Because it's actually harder to do that's called a straddle press to handstand, a pike press to handstand, which I've never even worked on yet. It's not something that I'm interested in right now. Is where you don't open your legs into a straddle, it's where your legs go straight up. But that's harder because
the big leverage.
That's right. It's right. It keeps it brings the leverage further from your center of gravity. So once you get to that point where you can transition the weight into your hands, then there's a whole new series of drills that we work on, and that's what we're going to focus on tomorrow. Yeah, that's when you start learning how to shift basically from that point where the weight goes onto your hands into the point where you're in a handstand and your legs are open. And that's what we're going to work on tomorrow. I'm going to start teaching you, for those of you that do have the compression strength to be able to do this, what your workout should look like.
I'm going to look very graceful tomorrow. This is going to be good.
Yeah, this will be this is a little bit out of your realm for tomorrow, but we're going to make him do it anyway, because it's going to be fun to watch. So yeah, look, thanks so much for tuning in. For those of you that are watching, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. And any of you that aren't watching this live, if you want to know anything about the press to handstand or anything that we are doing here, then please leave a question. I'm going to...
Yeah, we've got just a few minutes left.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be real quick. And because we don't have Yanni here, we're not as organised with getting these questions printed out, but I'm going to just see if there's anything here that I can answer that is going to be helpful to everybody. And
how about here's a question from me.
From Richie.
From Richie's got a question.
Do you need to be able to do a handstand first before you press the handstand?
Richie's got a good question. Do you need to be able to do a handstand first before you can do a press to handstand?
Sean one as well.
And the funny thing is, funnily enough, yes and no, because it's actually harder to balance. I don't have a great handstand. I can do a handstand, obviously. I just did a press to handstand, but I don't have a great handstand. And there's a lot of reasons why. One of them is I only started doing handstands about 4 years ago. Another one is that it's a small part of the UMS. Like, I want to be able to be strong, flexible, have calisthenics ability, have movement ability. So I practice even bits of acrobatics, and I just do a little bit of everything, because I would rather be able to just move really well and not be specialized in one thing. And like, I've seen specialists and they're amazing at what they do, but then you try and show them something else and they're just rubbish at it because they've totally specialized. And that's not for me. That's not what I want. I'm 41 years old and I want to be able to do heaps of cool stuff.
And the other thing is, like, if you wait until you've got some like benchmark of handstand before you then start working on your compression strength, then you're just going to delay things so much. So if you can get that foundation of really good compression strength to start off with, then you know, you can be developing your handstand skills while you develop that fundamental compression strength, and then you'll get there faster than being like, all right, I'm going to do a year of handstand and then start from the beginning with compression strength.
And that's exactly how I did it. I couldn't do a handstand, and I was working on the handstand, but I was also working on the compression strength.
Which is basically what the UMS is all about. It's like you're ticking the boxes in lots of different places every single day, and that's going to gradually build you up to be able to do things you didn't think you'd be able to do, rather than be, you could get stronger quicker if you just did powerlifting like only, but then you'd also be stiff and unfit. So it's all about just building up these things concurrently, and you'll end up in a place where you didn't think you'd get to before.
So I'm going to read out one comment. We've got a whole bunch of really good engagement, and I can't thank you all so much for the engagement that you give us is payment for what we do. It really is.
Yeah,
it means so much to us to see you guys commenting and enjoying what we do. So Sean Fiorentini has said on our beginner planche workout that we did last week, that was an exceptional video, over-the-top content knowledge and practical application. Having Phil go through alongside Rad was fantastic. Rad moves so easily through these exercises at times it's discouraging to see how far away I am from reaching that level. I feel your pain, by the way, which is why we do this stuff. I really mean it. Sometimes it can be discouraging seeing someone so far ahead of you. Thanks so much, Phil, for getting in there and showing how the average guy or girl would perform. Change my viewpoint to shooting for Rad's level through hard, consistent effort, although you would have done much better had you not lost the power of the mo.
So true, Sean, so true.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, look, thanks so much, Sean, and thank you everyone that watches.
Yeah, so hopefully, I think that was pretty interesting. Like, my pancake compared to what Rad's doing, it just shows, when you specialize in one thing, you spend the time doing it, it's a very different looking activity what I was doing to what he was doing. So,
and you know what? It's funny. This is why the UMS is so effective, because Yanni and me made a decision that we just said, you know what, we're going to be doing this for the rest of our lives. This is our career. This is what we want. So we are going to get good at the stuff that we weren't good at. And I sucked at flexibility 4 years ago. I really did. And I said, stuff this. I'm going to double down on it. I'm going to prioritize it. And then we slowly worked towards a point where we did it in this way where for every set of strength training we did flexibility, because for quite a while there I wasn't doing that. I'd do all my strength training and then I'd finish the workout with the flexibility. And that didn't work for me for two reasons. Number one, it took a lot longer. Number two, I was often so fatigued that I just didn't have the energy, and I cut my flexibility workout in half and went, I can't be bothered. And I did that for a few months. I thought, well, I'm never going to get as flexible as I am strong if I'm not doing this. So that's why our program is what it is, and why I've been able to achieve the results that I have, and why any of you will be able to too.
And again, my background's more team sports based, so I did 11 years of ultimate frisbee where I played 5 world championships. I was really involved in that, and I've just always had a real drive to be, like, my training is all about kind of getting into those sports that I love doing. So now it's beach volleyball, so I'm just a slave to the dig set and the spike. I just can't get enough. So again, that's kind of why, like, you look at me doing these movements like, oh, that's pretty average, but also my focus is
those are the best excuses I've ever heard anybody say. No, I'm joking. If Phil took me out on any of those things that he's just talking about, I would look like an absolute gump. So we're not even going to go there. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be doing some way harder drills for the press to handstand.
So hard already.
Well, tomorrow it's not going to be just about compression strength. It's going to be about actual press to handstand. So tune in, and we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.
Health is about performance, not just body image.
You better be willing to accept what you're going to have to do to get there.
We'll start focusing on movement goals, strength goals, flexibility goals.
When you nail that skill, that's there forever.
The body image goal doesn't get you that far.
It's the consistency and frequency that's going to get you there. It's not the intensity.
There's no shortcuts to mastery and movement. Destination doesn't change overnight, but your direction will.
The gym is not the place to beat up the body that you hate. It's the place to build the body that you love.
We are the gym that teaches people how to move instead of just exercise, because we believe that health is about performance, not just body image.